Y'all ain't noticed since Pooh Shiesty been home, ain't been no 1017 repping. It ain't been no shouting out Gucci Man, I'm 1017 this, and Gucci Man this, and Gucci Man that. Ain't none of that.
Pooh Shy, the greatest Memphis rapper who generated millions of streams and put 1017 records back on the map, just made a statement that sent shockwaves through the industry. After serving years behind bars, he came home to nothing from the label that promised him everything. And the man at the center of this betrayal, Gucci Mane himself. This isn't just another artist-label dispute. This is personal. This involves family, death, disrespect, and money. Lots of money. And if you think this is going to blow over quietly, you haven't been paying attention to how Memphis moves. Stay with me until the end of this video because what I'm about to reveal shows exactly why this situation could explode into one of the biggest beefs in hip-hop. Let's break it down. To understand how we got here, you need to understand who Pooh Shiesty is and what he meant to 1017 Records. Back in 2020, Pooh Shiesty wasn't just another snide. He was the future of Gucci Mane's label. His breakout hit, Back in Blood, featuring Lil Durk, became a cultural phenomenon, racking up hundreds of millions of streams and turning Pooh Shy into one of the hottest names in rap almost overnight. The Memphis rapper brought a raw, authentic, street energy that resonated with fans across the country. His debut mixtape, Shiesty Season, went platinum, and suddenly 2017 Records was relevant again in ways it hadn't been in years. Pushy wasn't just making music, he was making Gucci Mane money, serious money. But in October 2021, everything changed. Pooh Shiesty was arrested and eventually sentenced to 5 years in federal prison on firearms conspiracy charges. For most artists, that would be career suicide. Prison time kills momentum, kills buzz, kills relevance. But Pooh Shy, his star only grew brighter, fans stayed loyal. His music continued to stream and the anticipation for his release built to a fever pitch. During this time, Gucci Mane made public statements about how much he missed Pooh Shiesty, how he couldn't wait for him to come home, how 1017 was holding it down for their star artist. Gucci even went as far as dropping almost everyone else from the label roster, keeping only Pooh Shiesty and Fugano. But as we're learning now, those public statements didn't match the private reality. Let's rewind to when everything seemed perfect. When Pooh Shiesty first signed to 1017 Records, it looked like a match made in hip-hop heaven. Gucci Mane, the legendary trap pioneer from Atlanta, linking up with hungry young Memphis street rapper Pooh Shy, brought that raw, unfiltered energy that reminded people of early Gucci Mane, and Gucci provided the platform, the resources, and the industry connections. In those early days, Pooh Shiesty repped one hard. Every interview, every social media post, every song, he was shouting out the label. 2017, the label, man. Gucci Mane, the GOAT, Big 1017, he wore the chain with pride. He talked about Gucci Mane like a mentor, like family. The loyalty was real, or at least it seemed that way, and why wouldn't it be? Gucci Mane had given him the opportunity of a lifetime. Before 1017, Pooh Shy was just another talented street rapper from Memphis trying to make it. After signing, he was performing at major venues, getting features from industry heavyweights, and seeing his face on billboards. The partnership was working. But here's what most people don't realize. Even before Pooh Shiesty went to prison, there were already cracks forming in the relationship. Industry insiders were whispering about contract disputes, about Pooh Shiesty feeling like he wasn't getting his fair share, about tension behind the scenes. Nothing public, nothing dramatic, just the kind of business disagreements that happen in every label relationship. Fast forward to 2025 and Pooh Shy is finally coming home. The hip-hop world is watching, waiting to see what happens next. Will he pick up where he left off? Will 2017 give him the red carpet treatment? Will Gucci Mane show up with jewelry, money, and a plan to take over the industry? The answer apparently was none of the above. Shortly after his release, Pooh Shiesty made a post on social media that got everyone talking. He said that when he came home from prison, no label, no rappers, no friends really looked out for him. Just his family and his day ones. Now, he didn't name names directly, but come on, we all know who he's talking about. When you're Signeto, 1017 Records, and you say no label looked out, there's only one label that could be. But why? According to sources close to the situation, it all comes down to money, specifically contract negotiations. See, when Pooh Shiesty went to prison, he was operating under his original deal with 1017. But when he came home, that contract was up for revitalization. This is when things start to get interesting. Pooh Shiesty, a popular young musician with one successful project, ended himself behind bars. With a platinum album, a huge fan base, and more buzz than ever before, he emerged as a certified star. His worth had increased dramatically. Any sensible label executive would acknowledge this and modify the agreement appropriately. However, it seems that Gucci Mane had a different opinion. Rumor has it that Gucci Mane was making offers that were far less than Pooh Shiesty's value when it came time to renegotiate. We are discussing lowball bids that failed to take into account the revenue possibilities, the cultural influence, or the streams. It appeared as though Gucci Mane was attempting to force Pooh Shiesty into a similar arrangement that he had when he was a little-known performer. To his credit, Pooh Shiesty wasn't having it, despite the fact that he was now a proven commodity. He now understands his value. He's seen the figures. He has experienced the affection of the fans and is more knowledgeable about the industry than headed as a young artist attempting to succeed. Therefore, Pooh Shiesty retaliated when Gucci Mane presented such poor figures. At that point, the relationship truly began to deteriorate. Pooh Shiesty hasn't brought up 1017 once since returning home. Not in freestyles, interviews, or postings. The chain hasn't observed it. The shout goes unanswered. That silence says a lot for someone who was once the label's biggest supporter. What did Gucci Mane give Pooh Shie? Nothing, he said. No car, no new jewelry, no welcome home package, no substantial cash gift, just regular business. As if he hadn't some pleasant years in federal jail while continuing to bring in money for a label. However, things worsen. This circumstance has an additional dimension that makes it much more intimate. Big Scar, Pooh Shiesty's cousin, is also involved. Another growing talent on 1017 Records was Big Scar, who was related to Pooh Shiesty. Big Scar sadly died in December 22 from an unintentional overdose. The hip-hop scene in Memphis was saddened by his demise at the age of just 22. The loss of his cousin was extremely hard for Pooh Shiesty, who was still incarcerated at the time. However, the events that followed Big Scar's passing made matters worse. Gucci Mane attempted to reclaim the 1017 chain when Big Scar passed away. According to his family, give that some thought. Tragically, a young artist passes away. Additionally, the emphasis was on obtaining the chain back rather than helping the family, paying for the funeral, or demonstrating respect. Big Scar's brother even took to social media to criticize Gucci Mane, claiming that Gucci blocked them. When they requested for assistance with the funeral, he argued that Gucci wasn't behaving like a true CEO and wasn't providing the kind of assistance that one would anticipate from a company that seemed to care about its artists. Pooh Shiesty must have been furious to see this happen to his family while he was incarcerated. This was no longer just business. This was a private matter. This concerned Gucci Mane's treatment of his cousin, his blood, and his family. Additionally, it revealed to Pooh Shiesty the true nature of the person he was interacting with. This is where things become even more difficult. Pooh Shiesty is unable to get in touch with Gucci Mane personally, even if he wanted to have a genuine discussion about all of this. Why? Due to Gucci Mane's spouse, Kakawari, is in charge of everything. Keisha controls Gucci Mane's phone, operates his Instagram account, and essentially handles all of his conversations, according to many sources. Gucci Mane must be contacted before you can speak with her. The demons are visible to her. She keeps an eye on the calls. She determines who has access. Some could argue that's just a wife protecting her spouse. However, there is a problem in the music industry. Direct communication between artists and their label head is essential. They must be able to discuss business, creative direction, and personal matters in private. When a third is constantly present, it creates barriers for all parties involved, especially those who may have their own agendas. This implies that Pooh Shiesty would have to go via Keisha, even if he wants to talk about his problems with the Gucci Mane Manto Man. And it's obvious that's not a fruitful course of action based on how things have transpired. This is the harsh reality that Pooh Shiesty has come to terms with. Now that he is unable to help himself, there is nothing Gucci Mane can do for him. Consider it. Pooh Shiesty needed the industry infrastructure, relationships, and platform when he initially joined 1017. He was a little-known artist attempting to make a name for himself. Pooh Shiesty was appreciative of Gucci Mane for giving her the chance. However, Pooh Shiesty now has a following of his own. His streaming numbers are his own. He is well known for his own brand. He has demonstrated his ability to move units and produce hits. For what purpose does he currently require 17? Dispersal. He is able to obtain that. From any major label, with the proper team, go independent. Advertising. Buzz is created just by his name. 17's marketing machine is not necessary for him. Characteristics, it's not his label. Affiliation that makes artists want to collaborate with him, but rather his personality. The balance of power has radically changed. Pooh Shiesty is no longer the starving young artist. He is a well-established celebrity who gained even more notoriety and credibility after doing time. Now he has the cards. Additionally, Gucci Mane's attempt to undercut him on a contract renewal indicates that Gucci either doesn't get it or doesn't give a damn. Pooh Shiesty is prepared to leave because of this. He is no longer representing 1017 because of this. He's recognized that sticking with Gucci Mane means accepting less than his worth, and he's not ready to do that, which is why the relationship has worsened. How will Gucci Mane react if Pooh Shiesty goes there? Will he make an effort to protect himself? Will he release his own diss recordings in retaliation? Or will he make an effort to mend the relationship? 1017 Records could be severely harmed if this becomes a public dispute. If other artists saw how Pooh Shiesty was handled, will they want to sign there? If Gucci Mane couldn't even help his biggest star upon his release from prison, who would trust him to stand by them? Both parties have a lot on the line. For Pooh Shiesty, this is about being respected and being treated fairly. This concerns Gucci Mane's legacy and the label's future. This circumstance also draws attention to a more significant issue facing the music business: how labels handle artists, particularly up-and-coming musicians that lack a thorough understanding of when they initially sign a contract. Pushy signed with 1017 because he was eager, needed the chance, and would have done anything to gain access. Most artists begin in this manner. However, those early contracts begin to seem like chains as they develop, grasp the business, and realize their true worth. The smart labels are aware of this and make the necessary adjustments. In good faith, they renegotiate. They express gratitude for the artist's development. They establish enduring bonds based on respect for one another. And just remuneration. Labels who fail to do this lose their top musicians and become known as places to stay. Away from 1017 Records is currently in danger of turning into the latter. 1017 will find it difficult to draw in great talent in the future if Gucci Mane is unable to mend this connection with Pooh Shiesty and demonstrate that he respects and treats his artists fairly. And let's face it, who would 1017 have without Pooh Shiesty? Fugo continues to face legal challenges. The majority of the other artists have either left or been dropped. The franchise was Pooh Shiesty, and what's left if he leaves? For Gucci Mane, this is a crucial time. He has two options: either he steps up, puts things right, and demonstrates that he is a label head who looks out for his artists, or he lets things get out of control and watches his label's reputational collapse. The relationship between Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane has clearly reached a breaking point when you take a broad view. What was once a promising collaboration has turned into a hostile, disrespectful, and untrustworthy environment. Pushy expected the label he helped create to support him when he returned from prison. Rather, he received a lowball contract offers, quiet, and witnessed the disrespect shown to his cousin's family following Big Scar's passing. That's not how you treat your biggest celebrity, nor is it how you treat your family. Pooh Shiesty is now expressing his desire to stop playing games. He is no longer representing 1017. He's allowing the world to see him without calling out Gucci Mane. Understand that when he returned home, no one was watching out for him. That's a strong statement with potentially fatal repercussions. Now, the question is whether this remains subliminal stress or develops into a more significant issue. Will Pooh Shiesty's music specifically address this? Is Gucci Mane going to react? Will this become one of the next big beefs in hip-hop? One thing is certain, but only time will tell. Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane no longer have the same loyalty. Furthermore, it is nearly impossible to regain confidence in hip-hop after it has been betrayed. How do you feel about this circumstance? Are you believe that Pooh Shiesty's feelings are justified? When he returned home, should Gucci Mane have done more to help him? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Additionally, be sure to hit the notification bell and subscribe if you want to be informed as this issue progresses. This tale is far from finished, and you don't want to miss what takes place.